Stanford, and I am the Building Sciences instructor here at Muscle Shoals Career Academy. Today I want to talk with you a little bit about construction drawings, specifications, and layout. There will be an online quiz that you will take at the same time that you go through this recorded lecture. And let me also remind you to take some notes, because there will be a test over this information and you will need some notes to study from. Okay, today I want to talk with you about several different things, and when we're done I want you to be able to identify some line types that are used in construction drawings. We're going to talk about some architectural symbols. We're going to also talk about electrical, mechanical, and plumbing symbols. We're going to talk a little bit about abbreviations, and we're going to talk about construction drawing dimensioning, and finally we're going to talk about the different types of drawings that are used in construction. Alright, first let's talk about line types. First of all, the object line is the most common in a set of drawings, and it is used to show the main outline of a structure or assembly or component of a building. It's generally a darker, heavy line. You can see here that object lines are here to show the walls. They're also here to show the stairways. Object lines denote doors right here. So that should give you an idea of what an object line is. Next up is dimension lines. Dimension lines are here, and they are at 90 degrees with what are called extension lines. So the dimension line just gives a dimension of an object. It will have a number on it, and the number may be it may be in a broken section of the line, or it may be above the line. Generally it's in the middle of that dimension line. Hidden lines are lines that cannot be seen in the view that we're looking at. If you look at this drawing of a metal tube and you notice the dotted lines here, that is pointing out the inside diameter of this tube. That lets us know that this is actually a metal tube and not a rod. So if you look here, this metal rod does not have any hidden lines shown. So that's what hidden lines are designed to do. Break lines are used to save space. If you look at this drawing here, the concrete blocks here that are shown are going to go all the way up, and showing all of the concrete blocks doesn't really add any detail or any more information to this drawing. So for that reason, we use break lines. And this is an example of a break line. You can just see it comes here and then it dips down and back up and keeps going. A cutting plane line is used to indicate an area that has been cut away. So if you look at this dark line that has the arrows here pointing to A, what that tells us is that detail A, which is over here, shows us what we would see if we were holding this component and cut it right here and looked inside the component. So that's what a cutting plane line is. A center line shows the center of an object, and you can see this center line runs all the way through, and it even shows the center of this section drawing. A stair indicator line is just a line that shows the ascent or descent of a stairway. This keeps builders from having the stairs built backwards. Okay, let's talk a little bit about architectural symbols. Now here are some examples of different types of architectural symbols. The first one is a single pole switch, and this switch is used normally for a closet or a bedroom, and it allows us to control a light or other electrical device from one location. This is the symbol for a three-way switch, and this allows us to control a light or other electrical device from two different locations. So this would be used in a hall. Most halls have a switch at either end, and you can control the light from both ends of the hall. Here are some door symbols. This is just a regular swinging door. These are double doors. This is called a pocket door, a louvered door, and so there's several different door symbols that are shown on this drawing. Now here are some plumbing symbols. This is just a regular tub and shower combo. This is a corner tub. It may be a whirlpool tub. This is the symbol for a shower. We got two symbols for commodes, and finally these are the symbols for vanity sinks. One last symbol. This is a receptacle symbol. Okay, we're not going to deal too much with weld symbols. If you get into welding and you want to study that, my suggestion to you is to enroll in the welding program here at MSCA, and you are going to get a lot further into these welding symbols. But for now, I want you to remember that weld contour symbols are flush, convex, or concave. Okay, here are some abbreviations. These are some of the more common abbreviations that you will see on construction drawings. Square feet, that should be FEET, but that is FSF. For linear feet is LF. DWG is drawing. So there's several different symbols that you're going to encounter on construction drawings, and this is an example of just a few of them. Construction drawings are made up of lines, symbols, and abbreviations. These all work together to form a set of drawings that fully represents all of the pieces and components that are required to construct a building. If you are in the skilled trades, you need to be able to interpret these type of drawings. If you can't, you're going to end up making mistakes, and your boss is going to be unhappy, your customers will be unhappy. So it's very important as tradespeople that we can read and understand construction drawings. First off is the title sheet. A title sheet is placed at the beginning of a set of drawings. It normally provides an index. It may provide, it may give you some symbols. This particular title sheet has the name of the firms that did some of the design work on it. This is probably the owner's representatives here. It's got a picture of the courthouse here. So there's a lot of information on these title sheets. All right. Site plans. Site plans are drawings that show man-made features like parking lots, retainage ponds, things of that nature that are on the site. They may give us contour lines that will show us hills and valleys that are on the site. Um, they may also show proposed structures. They show streams, rivers, pretty much anything to do with the building site are shown on site plans. A foundation plan shows the foundation of a drawing. It shows piers, footings, the dimensions of footings. If there are grade beams, it will show them. In some industrial settings, equipment that goes into buildings is so large and heavy that it may have to have a special footing under the equipment. So that would be shown on a foundation drawing. And if we are building a building with a basement that has an open side on it, the foundation plans will show the walls, doors, and windows that are in that opened wall on the basement. Okay, a floor plan shows the interior walls. It will show stairways, windows, doors, cabinets, and vanities. It'll show plumbing fixtures. It may even show light fixtures. This floor plan even shows some of the furniture. So that is not uncommon. A lot of times designers will include that type of thing to help get us an idea of the size of the room and have an understanding of whether or not all of the necessary furniture will actually fit into the room. A roof plan gives information about the roof slope, drain placement, and other information. It may have information about ornamental sheet metal work, gutters, and downspouts. And if you look, this is a roof plan. These two up here are elevations, but here at the bottom, these are both roof plans. And you can see that we're looking down on this building from above, and this lets us know what the roof looks like. A section drawing shows interior features. It is drawn in such a way that a building or component would look if part of it were cut away and you could look into the inside of the building. A detailed drawing is an enlargement of special features. This is a cornice detail. You can see it shows the fascia board, the subfascia, soffit material, shows this rafter coming down, it shows the shingles and the gutters, and this just tells us how the people that are building this building want their cornice to look. These are schedules. Schedules are tables that describe different types of materials and components that are used on a building. The one at the top here is a door schedule, and you can see that if there is a door on the building floor plan that's marked with A, that's a 3068 steel door. The door that is marked with B is a 3068 steel door, but it also has to have a 20-minute fire rating. The door that is denoted with a G is a double hung door. Here we have an overhead door. So there's several different types of doors, and the door schedule helps us to identify them and to know where they go on the drawing. Here at the bottom we're looking at a window schedule. So the window that is noted number 1 is a 4030 vinyl slider. Window 5 is a 3020 vinyl window, and it is made with tempered glass and it's obscured. So most likely this one is in a bathroom. Those obscured glass windows generally go in bathrooms so that people on the outside cannot look into the bathroom. Structural drawings. They show requirements for the structure of a building. They include columns, floor, roof systems, stairs, canopies, and also load-bearing walls. Uh, this is an example of a structural drawing. You can see this is how the corners are built in this building. You can see the rafters, the structure of the roof here. So that is a structural drawing. Here's an example of a plumbing riser diagram. These drawings show water supply lines as well as wastewater removal lines. They will also show plumbing fixture locations. Electrical plans show details for the electrical systems. So you can see here it's got these symbols for a receptacle. It's got symbols for lights. These, I'm not sure if you can see this on your screen, but those are S's, so those are single pole switches. And then these lines here, that tells us that that is the circuit, so that's the wire being pulled. HVAC plans show the details for the installation of the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning system. You can look here, these lines going this way and that way, that is the duct system. And these little notes that are here on the drawing are telling us the size and shape of the duct. Specifications are written instructions. They are equally as important as the drawings. They clarify information that can't be shown on the drawings. A lot of times these will be very thick books of product information. There may be several volumes on a larger project, and they're very important. Specifications define the materials that are to be used on the drawings. They help us keep up with the building code. There's a section in the drawings there's a section in the specifications that's called special conditions, and that will tell contractors the guidelines for bidding on a project. They give a standard of quality. A couple of things that specifications do not do is they don't replace anything that's found on the drawings. Specifications are meant to be a partner to the drawing. They don't replace anything on it. If there is ever a situation where specifications tell us to do something different than what's found on the drawings, we need to ask someone. We will need to submit an RFI to the designer and let the designer answer that question. Specifications also include information regarding materials, such as their ASTM number, and don't forget that. Alright, let's talk a little bit about the general conditions. General conditions are generally the first section of the specs. They give the contract terms, they define the type of insurance that must be carried, they cover the level of supervision that the owner wants on the project. They don't cover safety though, so remember that. And what happens is when contractors bid on these projects, they go by the guidelines for bidding that are found in the general conditions. The bid has to be turned in by a certain time in a certain location. If the bid is not turned in, it may be rejected. So contractors are very particular about these general conditions, and it's important that they understand them. Talk about building codes for just a minute. Construction standards, aka building codes, are governed by one of two code books. One is the International Building Code, also called the IBC. The other is called the National Fire Protection Association Code. This one's called the NFPA 5000. Before 2000, there were several different codes. There were three different building codes to be exact, and they applied to different geographical locations. In 2000, when the International Building Code came about, pretty much the whole country adopted that, although it may be interpreted differently in different areas. This was very beneficial, and it helped everybody to sort of be on the same page across the country, just as far as means and methods of construction go. All right, now this is pertains a little bit to building layout, and when we build any structure, it's very important that the structure be a perfect square or perfect triangle. Whatever it has got to be, the shape of it has got to be perfect. And what you have to do is you go out to a place and you buy a lot, and on that lot you have to mark out a perfect square on the ground. And a lot of times what contractors end up using is this 3-4-5 triangle. And the 3-4-5 triangle rule says that a triangle that has legs of 3 feet and 4 feet and a hypotenuse must be a 90-degree triangle. So when you get to your online quiz, make sure that you take a look at that video that's included on there, because that's really important, and that will give you a better understanding of this. Okay, that is it for our Introduction to Construction Drawings video lesson. At this point, you should be able to identify some line types that are used in construction drawings. You should be able to identify some architectural symbols. You should be able to talk just a little bit about electrical, mechanical, and plumbing symbols. Abbreviations, we've talked a little bit about that. We talked just briefly about dimensioning on construction drawings, and finally we got into the types of construction drawings. Now, because you've been through this video lesson, that doesn't make you an expert at reading construction drawings. In order to become an expert at reading these, it takes some experience. So this is really just designed to give you a starting point for reading construction drawings, and as you go forward in your career, you will get better and better at reading these.